Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Oh, jeez. I told Trevor I think I overdid it. Everyone all set, cocked, locked, blissed. Oh, jeez. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. And we're delighted you're here. And we're broadcasting 2 hours Monday through Friday from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. There's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPrepares.com, USAPrepares.com. If you'd like to call in and talk to Dr. Norman Shealy, 866-582-9933. Trevor's engineering the broadcast. Dr. Shealy, are you blissed?
Yes.
You know, I have a serious medical question to ask of you, and it has to do with me. I told Trevor just before the broadcast, I said, starting like right now, there's no sleep for me and Mrs. Finelli at the farmhouse until Tuesday. There's no sleep. And what I mean by that is we've got Rich Sheben flying in. He'll be here around midnight. We'll get him back to the farm around 2 a.m., up real early, 5 o'clock or so for, getting ready for the broadcast. And then John Statmiller arrives and Ed Marvini, Aaron Dakins, Brad Dakins, Rick Miller, Grace Thorne. They'll all arrive tomorrow, and there's a million things that we have to do, and that's starting tomorrow. And we all have different sleep habits. So, for example, Aaron and Brad Dakins do a late night show, and so they're up all night. So they're gonna want to stay up all night and talk, and it's gonna be really difficult for me to get enough sleep for the next 4 days or so, or 5 days. What do I do to minimize the effects of...
Tell him to go somewhere else. There's no solution, Jeff. There is no substitute for sleep.
Oh, shoot. I was hoping you'd have some kind of an answer there. Yeah, and... Mrs. Finelli said, okay, so where's everybody sleeping? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know. So she said, I'll tell you what, I'll just go to the motel and give you some extra room here at the house. This is so much fun. We're going to have so many wonderful people here. I just can't explain, to anyone who has not seen what we do for this expo. I cannot explain what it's like, but it's the coolest thing. But, so anyway, let me say this. If you haven't gotten your tickets, you can still get them at, USAPrepares.com or Get Prepared Expo. The expo, the Get Prepared Expo is this weekend. Tomorrow's Thursday. One day after, the day after tomorrow, it starts. It starts Friday for setup and our banquet meal. And Dr. Richard Allen Miller and Matt Stein will be doing their all-day seminar on Friday. So if you want to get that seminar, you still can. I ordered some extra banquet meal tickets, even though we haven't sold all of them. Well, actually, we did sell all of them, but I ordered extras anyway. Dr. Shealy, imagine this. Seriously. Imagine 450 banquet meals being served at the Get Prepared Expo. 450. Is that unbelievable? That's Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. 450. We've never done that many before. That's going to be so neat. So you can have a banquet meal with your instructors starting Friday night. You'll find out on Friday night, you'll find out who we are. We're going to introduce ourselves. 2 minutes each at the microphone. Now imagine this. Seriously. 2 minutes each. So I'll get up for 2 minutes. Dr. Shealy will get up for 2 minutes. Rick Sheben, Matt Stein, Rick Miller, Aaron Dakins, Brad Dakins. 2 minutes each. 100 of us. That's 200 minutes. That's over 3 hours just for us.
I might walk out if it goes too late.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do, Dr. Shealy. We'll put you on early.
Good.
But Dr. Shealy, have you ever been able to just talk for 2 minutes? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that's a bad, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I mean, you have so many things to talk about. How can you do it in 2 minutes?
Well, that's true, but halitosis, better no breath at all. I can do it.
Dr. Shealy, can you help me explain what this expo is like for those who have not been there?
Well, it's like being in Grand Central Station in New York, but instead of thousands of people just running around trying to catch a train, there are booths with all kinds of goodies and lots of ammunition and guns and health-related things and people meeting and having fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's 2 days of nonstop amazement. It's 2 days of, well, actually 3 days of nonstop learning. And when at the end of the expo on Sunday, when everyone's leaving, Sunday, well, let's say 6 o'clock Sunday, everyone's exhausted. I mean, literally exhausted. Everybody's dragging, but they stay because they want to learn all these things that they need to learn. And that's really what it's like. So be prepared to be exhausted. If you're speaking at one of the seminars, make sure you bring your notebook computer with you. We will have projectors and screens all ready to go. Just plug it into your computer if you're doing a presentation. So make sure you bring your notebook computers. We'll have everything else. And for those guests who are students, make sure you bring a writing instrument like a pen, pencils, spare pens, and a notebook to write in, because you're going to take 100 pages of notes. Seriously. You'll be taking 100 pages of notes. And the reason I know this is someone left his notebook, and it was maybe a 150-page notebook, one of those spiral-bound notebooks, and it's filled from front to back during the 2 days of our last expo. This expo is 3 days. So, Dr. Shealy, I was wondering, do you recommend any supplements for us to take prior to the expo?
Well, I would say the most important thing from my point of view is every day is Nitro Extreme.
Yeah.
I say that because it provides energy. Mm-hmm. And, if I had to have only one, that would be the one.
Okay. Well, just before the broadcast, I was in the kitchen, and as many of you know, we broadcast right from the farm here on USA Prepares. And we have a full-fledged studio, just like everybody else does, like Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck and all those guys. We have a studio like that, except without video cameras. And I was in the kitchen, and 45 drops of Kyani Nitro Extreme about 20 minutes ago. That, I don't know, Dr. Shealy. I don't know if I can back down. I used to.
Well, I wasn't suggesting you back down. I was suggesting you run up.
Yeah, I'm at 45 drops during times like this 3 times a day. And, I have enough energy to do it. I really do. And so if you want to know what we're talking about, Dr. Shealy will be with us at the Get Prepared Expo all 3 days, Friday night for the banquet meal, and all day Saturday, and Saturday night for the banquet meal, and Sunday banquet lunch. And he'll be presenting seminars on Friday and Saturday. And Dr. Shealy, tell us what you plan to do with Nitro Extreme for those who would like to try it.
Well, if they have an elevated blood pressure, then we will be checking their blood pressure and pulse, and depending upon how high it is, we will give them either 15 or 30 drops of Nitro Extreme and then recheck the blood pressure and pulse 30 minutes later. Because that's about how long it takes for most people who have hypertension. Now, if they're on medication and their blood pressure is well controlled, which is, by the way, well under 50%, people on blood pressure medication. But if their blood pressure is well controlled, there's nothing to test. So there's no point in it in this kind of situation. But for those who have an elevated blood pressure, and it's got to be, to call it elevated, it's got to be at least 140 over 90.
You know, I met a man over the weekend, and I bought a roller, a farm roller, and this thing is, the roller itself is 7.5 feet wide, and it's a propane tank, an old propane tank, about 300 gallons, roughly 300 gallons. And it's got a spindle or an axle right through the center of it, long ways. And it's attached to a very heavy frame, and you pull it behind a tractor, you fill it with water, and you put this plumbing cap on it with a pipe wrench. So now you have about 300 gallons of water. By the time you're done, this thing weighs about 3,000 pounds, and you roll it around your farm on the fields. And what it does, it pushes the rocks down. So in this time of the year, when the soil's a little mushy, you roll this, and it just pushes those rocks that seem to pop up over the winter and push them down. Then you do less damage to your hay mowing equipment and tractors and so forth and tires as you maintain the fields in the summer. Well, I mentioned to this man, health. We were talking about health. He's a farmer, and he said, he keeps the pharmacy industry in business. And I said, come to the expo, we'll help you. But Dr. Shealy, a lot of people are keeping the pharmacy business in business. Let's talk about that when we come back. And this man was indicating that he takes like a handful of medicine each time he takes it daily. And that's kind of concerning. We'll be right back. Dr. Norman Shealy, normshealy.com. Class, who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take? At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan City, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. How many? I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take longevity beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
Class, Dr. Norman Shealy is with us, and if you'd like to get the same newsletter that I get multiple times per week, just go to normshealy.com. Norm, N-O-R-M, as in Norman, Normshealy.com. And you can sign up for the free newsletter. And he doesn't sell. He's not like some of those companies that sell the mailing list. He doesn't do that. It's just for his use to get you your free copy of the newsletter. And it's great. It, reminds you of a lot of things that you need to know, if you know some of them. And for those items that you don't know, it will let you know very quickly what you do need to know. I get it. I subscribe to it, and I suggest you consider doing that as well. Dr. Shealy, as I was mentioning, I met this farmer over the weekend, and I bought a piece of used equipment from him for our farm. And he was about 80, I would say 75 to 80 years old. And he was telling me about, how many medicines. He didn't tell me which ones, but he was telling me how many medicines he was taking. And, one of the things that comes to mind is, don't statin drugs cause impotence?
That's one of the smaller problems they create.
Mm-hmm.
Death, brain damage, heart damage, muscle damage, nerve damage. Yep, and impotence. Yeah, just a small trade-off.
I don't think when these statin drugs are prescribed that the health professional says to the patient, tell you what, you're going to love this. You're going to be impotent. And this is a good thing. This is a good thing, guys, because we have a fix for that too. There are other kinds of pills that will, temporarily reverse the complications of statin drugs, like Viagra and Cialis and, drugs like that. Dr. Shealy, we're not told these things. I mean, I don't ever remember, a medical professional saying to me, take this. Oh, by the way, here are the complications.
No, and of course, if you watch the stupidity on television, which I think is, by the way, a tremendous, horrible, negative thing that the FDA has allowed, They shouldn't even be allowed to advertise their drugs on television because the physicians hardly understand them, let alone the lay people. But they read them sophisticated, have them know this word safe. I mean, you couldn't possibly pay attention to I get emails several times every week from people about a drug, and I just go instantly to the internet and I look up just side effects and complications, and I copy the page-long list of it and send them to them. That's what I think every patient should do for themselves. It's easy to find out what the complications are. And this, I just want to, for a minute, the so-called business of side effects is absolute bull. These are side effects. There are effects. They are physiological, just as real as the purpose for which the drug is supposedly given. And they're complications, not side effects. That's my opinion about it.
Yeah. And I know that for those who have one of those colon examinations, with that piece of pipe that's probably 10 feet long, when you sign one of those consent forms, it says these things could happen, including death. So you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? When you agree to put these chemicals in your body, is it worth it? So I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying you need to make these decisions individually, class, and make sure that, during that 7 minutes that you have with your doctor for that appointment, that you say, whoa, wait a minute. I just want to make sure I understand what we're doing here. Make sure you understand what you're doing, because you may be agreeing to take a prescription from now on that may slowly kill you. And there may be other alternatives that may help you instead of kill you. We'll be right back. Dr. Norman Shealy. Class, who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take? At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MyTV. 1-855-905-MyTV.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins. But did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know BidBit.co. Why? Because BidBit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your products and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at BidBit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at BidBit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. BidBit.co.
The freeze-dry guy, leader in the preparedness industry for 44 years, is closing his California warehouse. Don't miss out on this huge warehouse sale and receive discounts from 30 to 40% off on the finest Mountain House and Packaway brand freeze-dried and dehydrated foods for long-term food storage or even everyday use. Plus deep discounts on all in-stock survival gear. The freeze-dry guy is offering a wide selection of freeze-dried foods in number 10 cans and even individually packaged entrees. Remember, meats, vegetables, fruits, and long-range patrol rations are the main components for any long-term food storage. This is limited to stock on hand, so hurry and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, as always, free shipping to the lower 48 states. So hurry up and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, this is limited to stock on hand. The freeze-dry guy is your choice for survival food in an uncertain world.
Norm, I got a call from the Guns 80 guys last night, and they were listening to the broadcast to come into the expo, and they're going to be selling AR-15 kits for $450. Yep, we're here. Can you hear us, Norm? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm here, and it looks like my signal's okay. I'm looking at the meter, so I'm good. Can you hear me, Dr. Shealy?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I had a call last night from the Guns 80 guys, and they're going to be at the Get Prepared Expo, and they're going to be selling AR-15 rifle kits, actually boxes of parts, and you can assemble it and turn that into an AR-15 with no paperwork. And I did a commercial for the expo, and I said, ladies, for $450 you can buy an AR-15 kit. And they called me and they said, they were intrigued by the approach that I took. And the approach is because my wife wants one, and she has one, and or wanted one and now has one. And our daughter wants two of them. And I thought, there are a lot of ladies who want an AR-15 kit for their own protection. And so our daughter was here, and she was looking at different versions of AR-15s, and she decided she wanted one with a carry handle. So she wanted a forged receiver with a carry handle. She did not want a flat top with a scope because she's a pretty good shot, and she'll be able to do whatever she needs to do, whether it's blinking or whatever with iron sights. So I just wanted to mention that was an amusing call. So by the way, if you want to buy an AR-15, $450 at the Get Prepared Expo, and I think you'll be quite impressed. Let's see. We have Lou from Illinois. Lou, you're on with Dr. Norman Shealy. Welcome.
Good morning, Vinny. Good morning, Norm. Hey, I can't
Good
wait
morning.
for the expo.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The expo.
Yeah, me either. Yeah. Well, actually, for me, it starts the day after tomorrow. Actually, for me, it starts tonight when I pick up Rich Sheben at the airport. Yeah. So, are you coming down, Lou?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've made every expo, and I'm certainly coming to this one.
Well, could I just impose upon you for just a minute to just explain what the expo is in your words?
Well, the expo is like a family reunion. It's like getting everybody together and just having a weekend of like-minded people talking and learning and going to seminars and having dinner, and it's just it's a vacation weekend for me.
Mm-hmm. Lou, did you ever make it to the meetup that we had just before the expo when we had it at Ziggy's restaurant where we all went to the restaurant together? Did you make that
No,
meetup?
I've never made any of those. I come from east of St. Louis, so it's a little distant for me.
Yeah, the reason I ask is for those of you who have not made a meetup, if you want to come to a meetup, this Monday coming up will be a real fun meetup. And Dr. Shealy, you're certainly invited to come. All of our instructors are invited to be at the Monday meetup. And it's just like extending the expo for, another 3 hours or so. But it's at Jimmy's Egg in Springfield, Missouri. And what happened the last time we did it at a restaurant meetup, just right at the expo time, was we had over 300 people at the meetup. And all we did was just introduce ourselves very quickly. It was absolutely out of control. The restaurant had a capacity of 160. We had about 300 in there. You couldn't move. I mean, it was for 3 hours. We took over the restaurant, and it was absolutely out of control. It was noisy, but it was so much fun. Nobody wanted to leave, and we had 6 people in a 4-person booth, standing room only. I mean, everywhere you looked, there was people standing, front room, back room. It was interesting. We're going to do something like that, but we're going to do it at the Cowan Civic Center. So if you're there on Friday night, you'll get a chance to see what that's like. It is really, really fun. But did you have any trouble picking which seminars that you wanted to go to when you were at the last expo?
Are you kidding? Yeah, of course. Yeah. In fact, you put on an extra John Regan seminar just for me one time.
Yeah.
It was so crowded, or so, the schedule was so busy that there were others that, kind of bumped him out of the way, and, so I finally got a chance to see his.
Yeah.
presentation.
Yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. I love John Regan. And Norm Shealy had a question about that. We'll discuss that question after your question. But Lou, you had a question for Dr. Norman Shealy?
Yes, I do. Dr. Shealy, in the past, I've heard you talk about PEMF, pulsed electromagnetic field therapy.
Right.
And I have built a PEMF unit, and if you're interested, I'll bring one down to Springfield and show you and let you play with it.
I am an electrical junkie.
No kidding. Boy, we'll probably have a good
y'all
time.
come.
Okay, yeah. This thing uses a 32-bit microcontroller, and, it's pretty sophisticated, so, and it's programmable, so we'll have some fun with it. I'll give you one to keep and try.
Wow. Well, no, I really am extremely impressed with this as another arm of electrotherapy.
Yeah, I've tried it on half a dozen friends, and everyone has had positive results, so I'm impressed with it.
One of the things that I like to do with it is I put a loop over my entire chest, and it will raise the temperature of the skin of my chest 6 degrees.
It actually raises the physical temperature?
Oh, yes. I did a study with one of these 2 years ago, and one woman's feet would temperature would go up 11 degrees.
Wow. You know what? When I put a coil on, I feel the sensation of heat, but I didn't know it was actually raising the temperature.
Well, I'll try to remember to bring my thermostat so we can play with it.
Okay, what kind of unit did you use? Was it a very intense coil?
Yeah, it is a fairly intense one, this particular one. But I have a feeling that this is just part of what it does. It does increase circulation, no question about it.
Yeah, I've had friends with bum shoulders that this has just absolutely fixed it for them. I mean, they're, as long as they keep using it at least once or twice a day, they have no problem.
Right.
Do you have any way of measuring the magnetic intensity, the magnetic flux?
Oh, sure.
Oh, can you bring that? Because I have no idea what I'm putting out.
Okay, yeah, I can compare that with mine also.
That's great. All right. Hey, I'm excited.
Terrific. Look forward to it, Lou. Thanks.
Yeah. We'll see you there, and I'll shoot you an email. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit beforehand.
Okay, Norm at normshealy.com.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks for calling.
Lou, that sounds fascinating. Lou, we'll have a facility where you'll be able to work with Dr. Shealy. He's got plenty of space up front at the expo, and he has electricity, and so everything I think you'll need will be available for you to do your experimentation.
Okay, and Vinny, I know you're into electronics too. If you want me to, I'll bring an oscilloscope and put it on here and show you guys exactly what it's doing.
I'll tell you what.
Hey,
no, seriously,
this is an expo.
Lou?
We're supposed to expose people.
There you go. but
Lou,
we got to keep our clothes. We got to keep our clothes on, don't we?
Lou, if that's what we're going to do, the expo hall is all set up right now. And what Mrs. Finelli and I were there yesterday, and we made sure all the booths and tables and everything's set up. So it's all decorated, the pipe and drape, and it's all there. It's really magnificent. It truly is. The decorators did a wonderful job. We've been using these guys for 7 years, and they really do a great job for us. Horst Timon is the name of the company. They left us some extra tables and skirts and things, so we can expand the expo as we need to. So I'll make sure that we add another table to Dr. Shealy's area, so you'll have room for your oscilloscope and equipment. Okay.
Okay, sounds good. And if you want to, maybe we can set a unit up for people to use. That got tired feet and stuff.
Yeah, and Lou, let me, since you're with us, stay with us for just another minute, if you will.
Sure. Oh yeah.
There are some people who are bringing some very interesting technology. For example, there's one lady who has a solar type oven, and it's a magnificent design. She has a prototype of it, and what she may find at the expo is an investor. She may find someone who will help her take her business to the next level. So if you are someone who is interested in starting a business, putting money into a business, you'll find that there are several opportunities to do just that at the Get Prepared Expo. So it's not only to buy things, it's to network and meet people who you can work with going forward. So Lou, what you said is, you're looking forward to Dr. Shealy's input for your electronic device. Okay. There are others who might have similar, not similar in terms of electronics, but other opportunities. So if you're interested in meeting people who are like-minded, who want to manufacture, design, develop, market, the expo is a great opportunity for that. And you will see opportunities at the expo for those things. And if you want to maximize your ability to determine what's available for you to become involved, make sure you come to the Friday night banquet dinner, because that's where we all introduce ourselves, who we are, why we're here, what we're doing, what we're looking for, what we intend to accomplish, all in 2 minutes each. So that's the time where you network. So Lou, make sure you show up at that banquet dinner if you can.
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, guys.
Hey, looking forward to seeing you. Thanks so much.
All right.
Dr. Norman Shealy and I will be right back after these few short commercial announcements. Get Prepared Expo starting this weekend. Actually, Matt Stein and Rick Miller will be doing their first seminar on Friday. Dr. Shealy and I'll be right back. Class, who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take? At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago. and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. How many?
The freeze-dry guy, leader in the preparedness industry for 44 years, is closing his California warehouse. Don't miss out on this huge warehouse sale and receive discounts from 30 to 40% off on the finest Mountain House and Packaway brand freeze-dried and dehydrated foods for long-term food storage or even everyday use. Plus deep discounts on all in-stock survival gear. The Freeze-Dry Guy is offering a wide selection of freeze-dried foods in number 10 cans and even individually packaged entrees. Remember, meats, vegetables, fruits, and long-range patrol rations are the main components for any long-term food storage. This is limited to stock on hand, so hurry and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, as always, free shipping to the lower 48 states. So hurry up and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, this is limited to stock on hand. The Freeze-Dry Guy is your choice for survival food in an uncertain world.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call? And how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Class, Dr. Shealy's with us, and Dr. Shealy, did you have a question that about the economy and John Regan?
Yeah. My thing has been for some time, not whether, but when the collapse will come. You know, I'm ready for it, but it just seems it should have happened already. And of course, the idiots who run the show, and not this show, but the idiots in Washington keep who run the financial comedy tragedy that is going on, or keep you know, fiddling. They're the mafioso at its greatest job ever done.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree. And last Monday, I was on the way to the meetup with Mrs. Finelli. We were in the truck, and I asked her to. I was behind the wheel, and I asked her if she would dial John Regan and give him a call. And so we were on the speakerphone, and I said, John, I just want to make sure that I absolutely positively understood what you said, that we have passed the point of no return. And he said, yes, that's right. So at the meetup, I gave a recap. It was probably the most serious meetup we have ever had, at least with me at the microphone. And I said, here's the situation. Just got off the phone a few minutes ago with John Regan. He's on the air with us every Monday. Captain John Regan, U.S. Air Force Reserves, retired. And he's a brilliant analyst. He looks at all kinds of news all over the world and connects the dots. And he said that we have passed the point of no return. And I said to the meetup group, he's right. We've been saying for a long time, for years, that this was coming, that we are in serious trouble. And I said the signs are all around us. Now, if you look at the gasoline prices, you can say, well, you know, that's kind of good because gasoline prices aren't high. There is so much gasoline and fuel inventory in the country, we don't know where to store it. Imagine that. You know, the refineries don't have low, medium, and high. They run it wide open, or they don't run. So we're not consuming gasoline. We're not consuming diesel. We're not consuming products. Now, why is that? Well, one of the reasons we're not consuming is because we're broke. People are absolutely broke. Why is that? That's because of overregulation and taxes by the governments. That would be local, county, state, and federal. People are losing their homes. They're losing their cars. They've lost their jobs. The American dream is over. It's not coming back. And so John Regan and I talked about what this means. And what it means is today is better than tomorrow. Each day is going to get progressively worse as we spiral down. And if you look, the signs are all around us. There's less traffic because there are fewer people driving, operating their vehicles. There's less consumption. If you go to the malls, there may be people in them, but they're really not buying things. People, I listened to a radio program yesterday when I was in the truck coming back from the Callan Center, and there were programs selling things, but at 75% off. That's what, there was like auctions going on, and they were selling brand new things, but they couldn't get more than, 60 or, the discounts were at 60 to 75% off in order to sell products on this radio show auction. New products. This all tells me that we are in serious trouble, and the signs are all around us. The for sale, for lease, for rent signs, more and more of them are at locations where businesses used to thrive. It's all around us. So the question I asked the meetup group was, if you believe a portion, a modicum of what we've been saying, what do you think you ought to do? And the response from the class was at the meetup, we need to be in high gear, overdrive, right now. And that's true. You need to know how to do everything. You need the parts, the spare parts, the tools. You need the knowledge. You need the books. and you need the community, and you need to build it right now. And you can start by attending the expo if you're not there yet.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective. You pick up the receiver with your heart racing and sweat dripping from your forehead. You finally muster the courage to dial the number to call into your favorite talk radio show. It rings once, twice, and then...
Hello, it's GCN. What's your name and the state you're calling from?
Surprised you got through, you squeak out.
Jason from Minnesota.
Please hold.
As you patiently wait for your turn, you begin to daydream about being a famous talk radio host and what it would be like to have your own show.
Jason from Minnesota, you're up.
Millions of loyal listeners worldwide waiting to call and talk to you.
Caller, are you there?
Cheering crowds surround you, calling out your name.
Jason! Jason!
Going once, twice. Okay, we gotta move on to the next caller.
You blew it.
Huh? Wait, no!
Interact with the host you're listening to right now, online at gcnlive.com. Click on the community link. Engage with other listeners. Ask questions. Start debates. Don't agree with the host? Let them know. Be a part of the community at gcnlive.com.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked, blissed. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with your medical doctor, Norman Shealy. Dr. Shealy, there was that jetliner crash in the French Alps. And if you look at the wreckage, and if you look at the images on the internet, you'll see that it looks like this plane was turned into confetti. And it was an Airbus 320, an A320, 150-seat workhorse. Okay, German wings. Well, the wreckage really looks like confetti from the air, and I have never seen an airplane crash that looks like confetti, like this one. What I'm saying is, it looks to me, this is just my opinion, that it was blown to bits. Absolutely blown to bits. Because when an airplane crashes, you'll see, wings, and you'll see engines, and you'll see large pieces of the airplane. This literally looks like confetti. It looks like an explosion. It looks like maybe it was taken down by a missile. The question I have is, who was on the plane? That's the question. Because these planes are flown thousands of times per day. The Airbus. Thousands of times per day. So I don't think these things just happen like this. I think it was an intentional event. I can't prove it, but that's just my thought. And Those of you who are going to be speaking at the expo, please bring your notebook computers and your presentations on your computers or thumb drives. But it would surely be nice if you brought your own computer that you're used to operating with you to the Get Prepared Expo. Dr. Shealy, Trevor and I were talking before the broadcast, and he has some sinus congestion, which is leading to hearing attenuation. Do you have any suggestions on what he can do to remove those symptoms and maybe stop the sinus drainage that is causing his hearing attenuation?
Yeah, I have to ask, how old is he?
Okay, well, he's a pretty young guy. Let's say he's in his 20s.
Okay. Well, at the top of my list, of course, is stop milk.
Mm-hmm.
Probably okay to have yogurt, or cheese, but not milk. And, of course, stop wheat. Secondly, I would put 1 drop of castor oil in each nostril twice a day. Third, I would, if he's not already on D3, I would take 150,000 units the first day, and then, then start once a week, 50,000 units. Third, I would take astaxanthin, 10 milligrams a day. I would take Kyani Sunset, 3 at bedtime, and sunrise in the morning.
Okay. And let's talk about the reason for taking the sunrise in the morning. What will that do for us?
Well, it gives you your essential multivitamin and mineral. And, our soil is so depleted that unless you've been an organic farmer on your own piece of land for a minimum of 5 years to get the soil moderately competent to raise crops, you just can't depend on what you get out of the grocery store. I mean, Ross Hume Hall wrote a book back in the 70s called Food for Naught. He was a biochemist PhD, and he was pointing out that even there, 40 years ago, the food in the grocery stores was highly deficient because the soil has been so depleted and mismanaged.
Yeah, I remember reading those stories. Okay, so vitamin D3, Kyani Sunrise and Sunset. Let's talk about the Sunset.
Well, that, of course, is the best form of vitamin E, tocotrienols, and it has a lot of good anti-inflammatory components to it, and it's the only vitamin E worth taking.
What happens if we take the inexpensive vitamin E's that you see, discounted like at the Chinese factory outlet?
The Chinese factory outlet, it's already poisoned. I wouldn't trust the Chinese to tell me the time of day or where the sun is shining. And so that would be my number one thought. But tocopherols, which is a major vitamin C that have been on the market for the last 60 or 80 years, 70 years, just don't come near what tocotrienols can do as a part of your anti-inflammatory, oxygen salvaging, if you will, supplement.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me ask you this. You had mentioned your concern over lumber liquidators having formaldehyde being released from their products, and you bought a test kit so that you could test your paneling in your home that is 3/4 of an inch thick, was put in a couple decades ago, and is not what we're talking about with lumber liquidators. What have you found out with your test?
Well, to be quite honest, the kit that I got said that the level in our living room, which is fully paneled with, you've seen it and call it real wood, had a 0.3 level, and they say anything above 0.1 is not good. So that was the only one I could find on the internet at first. And so I talked with the local expert about this, and they referred me to another kit, which cost $89, not expensive. And I got it, and it is off at the factory being, at the central control place, because you can't measure it at home. And I'm waiting for the report on that. I hope to have it within the next week.
Okay, Dr. Shealy, many years ago, I'm talking in the 1970s, the term sick buildings started being used. And what was meant by sick buildings is new construction in the 1970s, 1980s, where buildings were insulated for energy efficiency. And the windows, instead of having schools with windows that you could open and let fresh air in. I mean, you've got 25 students and a teacher in the classroom, and the doors closed and the windows are closed. We used to open the windows in the classrooms when I was, in elementary school and in high school. Well, we decided to build these new buildings to prevent air infiltration. So we had kept fresh air out of the buildings with these new designs, and they called them sick buildings. So when we had new carpet installed in these school buildings all over the country, we had gassing from the carpet. We had outgassing from the paint. We had outgassing from all these materials that we were using in the construction of these buildings, and then we sealed them up so that there was very little fresh air coming into the buildings, and the stale air was prevented from leaving the buildings at the rate that it used to, but when we had windows that we could open and close. So for our own safety, we prevented the windows from opening. And they had the term sick buildings. That's the kind of thing that we're talking about. We're talking about if you open the windows and you let the air escape and let fresh air come in, we're better off, aren't we?
Oh, absolutely. And of course, our house, even all year, the living room is open to our greenhouse area, and a lot of air coming in. Interestingly, that you brought up the sick building syndrome. Our eldest son, the year after he finished law school, thought he was going to do something, civic duty, and went to work for the United States Department of Labor in Kansas City. And it was one of those sick buildings, and he actually blew out one lung. A young kid who'd been healthy all of his life. And so he had a spontaneous pneumothorax. And he recovered, fortunately, because he was young and healthy. And left not only that job, but went to the opposite and started working in labor law, fighting the United States Department of Labor. And he's done that now for 30 years.
Good. Good for him. Dr. Shealy, we have John from Missouri who has a medical question. Welcome, John.
Good morning.
Hi, Vin and Dr. Shealy.
Hey.
I've got a question about blood clots. I'm kind of curious. I think I've got a blood clot that has formed in the arch of my foot, and I've been watching it for about a week, and it does have it's just a little red, about a half or about an inch long, that goes from the center of the foot up into the arch. And, if I push onto it, it does have some, tenderness, but I mean, it doesn't hurt to walk or anything like that, but it is kind of a red line. And I'm, wondered if there's anything that, that I could, I've taken a few aspirin to try to see if that, thin the blood a little bit. Is there any recommendations you would have? I don't know if it's a blood clot or not.
The top of my list would be castor oil.
Okay.
Could you take a 4x4, a little gauze pad?
Okay.
Fold it in half, maybe even, and put some castor oil on it and put it right on top of that.
So externally then?
Externally, oh yes.
Okay,
and if it doesn't get better by tomorrow, you ought to have a doctor look at it because this could be phlebitis.
It could be what?
phlebitis, which means an infection or inflammation in a vein.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Oil,
John, do you want to hold? Do you want to hold through the break?
Okay, that's okay.
You think you got it, John?
Yeah, I think so. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much. That was John Dollarhite, USAPrepares.com instructor with Dr. Norman Shealy. We'll be right back. Class, who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take? At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
So, Dr. Shealy, many years ago, my mom had a job, and she worked at the college level, and she was in the administrative section. And back then, in the 1970s, people smoked at their workstations and desks in offices, in all kinds of businesses, and at colleges and universities. And my mom would have this cough because of others who smoked, heavily smoked. at their desks. And my mom, got off. It was one of those sick buildings, those brand new buildings that you couldn't open the windows. There's no escape. And you could smell the tobacco everywhere. And, there were people who were heavy, heavy, heavy smokers. So she was trapped, absolutely trapped. And she would go out for lunch and just, to get some fresh air and sunshine and so forth. But the reason I'm bringing this up is she complained about this she said to her boss, what do I do? And he said, we can put you in the back 40, but there's nothing, we can't open the windows because you can't open the windows. And these other people have a right to poison themselves and you too, because they're smokers. So, tough. I mean, that's kind of what it was. And so what do we do, Dr. Shealy, if we are in a sick building? What do you recommend? And do we talk to the boss? What do we do?
Honestly, if you're Annie, where a man should be your uncle, if I worked in a sick building, I would have to quit. There is no way.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
Vince, I remember well how bad it was on airplanes before they banned smoking.
Right.
It was unbelievably bad to fly anywhere in the country when there was smoking on it. I suppose you can get little portable oxygen things with a mask if you have to feel tied there. That's one option. It's the only sane option that I can think of in a building like that. But I'm just too independent to allow myself to be controlled like that. And yet, I want to point out for those who don't know, your dear mother is now, I think, 90 years of age, and despite being exposed to that for however many years, she's doing well.
Yeah, she'll be at the expo. She's looking forward to, oh man. So I'm going to have to apologize to all of those exhibitors. My mom's going to be at the expo.
Well,
she'll be asking all kinds of questions and running around. Yeah, she's over 90 and she's got a lot of energy for her age. And, Dr. Shealy, she would do things that were considered very, very strange. Back in the 70s and 80s. So, for example, she would grow broccoli and she'd cook the broccoli and then she'd save the broccoli, the water that she cooked the broccoli in, and she'd put it in the refrigerator, and that was a beverage for her. She would go out into the backyard and front yard, and we didn't use insecticides on our yard. And so she would pick the dandelion leaves and make a salad, with the dandelion leaves. And she was very interested in nutrition. And I got a chance to see a family experiment. It was not arranged as an experiment, but her younger brother and her younger sister did not do the healthy things that my mom did. My mom was a health nut, and she used to listen to a guy by the name of Dr. Carlton Fredericks on the radio, who was a health and nutrition professor at Fairleigh Dickinson University back in the I think 60s and 70s. And he would talk about beta-carotene and some of the things that you talked about and still talk about, and, health and nutrition and what to do. And so she would kind of listen and follow a lot of his recommendations. Well, her brother and sister did not. They died a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
And she's she's the oldest of the three. And she's been more healthy all her life than they have. And so I got a chance to see this experiment. I got a chance to see what vitamins and supplements do. I got a chance to see what not doing bad things does. I got a chance to see what smoking does. I got, her brother and sister smoked, and they looked way older than my mom. They looked 20 years older than my mom, all the time.
Well, in my family, my father was really a wonderful person, but who got hooked into smoking at age 10, died at age 53 of a heart attack. 5 of 6 brothers died between 48 and 54. The number 6 brother who didn't smoke lived to be 80.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Dr. Norman Shealy and I will be right back. And you can still get your Get Prepared Expo tickets. You can get them online. Class, who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take? At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top-of-the-line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com.
There's a guy named Dr. Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor. Both a veterinarian and a naturopathic physician, Doc asks, why is this country spending more money on healthcare by far and ranking 50th in health and longevity worldwide? Doc believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, taking charge of their life, and attaining optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic pharmaceutical drugs that lead to side effects that require more expensive and toxic pharmaceutical drugs. Talk about being dependent on drug companies to our own destruction, no less. This is clearly a deadly recipe. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the government and big pharma manipulation of our health and healthcare system. I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare, and I've joined forces with him to help this tireless crusader spread his message. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipe Lectures. It makes a lot of sense, and I invite you to join our Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com. That's www.brightsideben.com.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins. But did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your product and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. Bidbit.co.
Class, I'm delighted to tell you that we're going to have 2.5 pound containers of Earthworks Health diatomaceous earth at the Get Prepared Expo, the lowest price in the country, and you'll be able to buy it. And you'll be able to talk to Erin Dakins about how she feels about diatomaceous earth for animals and human consumption. Also, if you would like to buy an AR-15 kit, you can at the Get Prepared Expo, $450. That's the show special. And I got a request from an email. A gentleman couldn't make it to the expo. He's just unable to make it, but he wants a kit. I said, I'll take care of it. I will pass that information on to the Guns 80 guys. So if you cannot make it to the Get Prepared Expo and you still want a Guns 80 at the AR-15 at the show special, I will pass your information on. So please send me an email immediately, okay? And just put AR-15 kit in the subject line, and I will get, and make sure you include your phone number. And what I'll do is I will bring that to the Get Prepared Expo, and I'll give it to Joe and James, and we'll help you get your AR-15 kit at the show special price. So I'll give them your phone number. They will call you from the expo. They'll lock you in and get you your kit, and they'll ship it to you. So if you want one, just send me an email, Vincent at usaprepares.com, Vincent at usaprepares.com. And we got a question about Nixol, and let me mention this. We have cases and cases and cases of Nixol in gallons coming to the Get Prepared Expo. So if you want to buy it the way we do, in the gallons, 1 gallon will make 11 gallons. You dilute it with water. 1 gallon makes 11. You can wash your vegetables in it. Dr. Shealy, I believe, really recommends it. I mean, every time I've talked to him, he really loves Nixol. Is that right, Dr. Shealy?
You got it.
Yep.
I've been in and on, if you will. I mean, I'm not financially in, but aware of it and using it since before it was really on the market.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's made in Nix, Missouri. Yep. Nixa, Missouri, where John and Judy Dollarheight have their dollar value computer store, Nixa, Missouri, and they'll be at the Get Prepared Expo. So we will have Milo Carter teaching us seminars about pathogens and toxins and what you can do about them, and the latest information about Nixol, which is being used in hospitals to kill every known pathogen. So we use it here at the farm when our animals get hurt. And they do sometimes, and we get hurt sometimes. We'll spray Nixol on us, and we don't have to worry about infection. Seriously, you might want to really consider coming to the Get Prepared Expo and bringing home a gallon or 2 or 3 or 4 or a case of Nixol. We sold at the meetup 8 cases, 8 cases of Nixol in one day. Now, it's not like we're promoting it. We just said, hey, Milo Carter's going to be here. He's going to tell us a little bit about Nixol, refresh our memories. Sold out. He had to come back with multiple deliveries, and each time he comes, he sells out. And, he gives it us a good deal, the lowest price in the country on Nixol. So if you're interested, Milo Carter will be with us. I didn't know about this product until I heard Dr. Shealy talk about it and Milo Carter talk about it. And we absolutely use it. As a matter of fact, your instructors, your USA Prepares instructors will come to the meetups and buy a case of Nixol at a time. And I bought a case. And I pay the same price that you guys do. Seriously. So one of the things that we ask our exhibitors and instructors to do when they sell products is to sell them at the lowest price that they offer them. And we don't take a kickback. We don't. And we buy them at the same price you do. So I suggest you consider getting your Nixol if you want it. And Dr. Shealy, we got a text during the broadcast about Nixol, and we were talking about sick buildings, and it came from Montana. And the question is, what about putting Nixol in a humidifier near your desk if you are in a sick building? Now, that would relate to biological toxins, not chemical toxins. So could you draw that distinction?
Yes, that's the thing. It would relate to, viruses, fungi, bacteria, but not the air itself. There are air purifiers, and you can get decent air purifiers that are worth considering. I think, even if you have to live in a sick building. Now, if you're in one of those places where the whole thing is, whole floor is open with no walls between you, I'm not sure how effective it would be trying to keep your little square foot area, decontaminated.
When we built this house, I experimented with an an ion generator. And so we have 3 of them in the farmhouse in strategic areas. And what happens is when we let these ions out in our home, it causes airborne dust to fall down. Now, that's good and bad. It's bad if you don't like dusting, because we have more dust because it falls out of the air, and it's good because we breathe less of it. So, sometimes I'll kind of tease Mrs. Finelli and I'll say, hey, we need to get that rake out and do some dusting. because we live on a farm on a dirt road, and there's a lot of dust where we are compared to a city that doesn't have fields and farming and they just have more toxins in the air than we do. But we do use ozone generators. We have 3 of them, and it causes, or these ion generators, it makes ozone, and it causes the dust to settle very quickly. So we can dust, and you can turn around, and there'll be more dust where we just dusted or remove the dust. So you're absolutely right, Dr. Shealy. And I think what I'll do is I'll find an example of the equipment that we use, and I'll post it after the expo. But that was a great question about Nixol. And now, Dr. Shealy, is there any concern about Nixol being harmful to the body?
Not to my knowledge. I even did a small study on it, spraying it in the armpits as a deodorant. Because basically, the body odor is from bacteria growing in your armpit, and it works beautifully.
It really does. And Dr. Shealy, I do the same thing. We buy the gallon jugs, 128 ounces, and Milo I'm going to see if I can send him a text, see if he can bring some of the small spray bottles. And these are a couple ounce spray bottles, size of a band roll-on deodorant bottle with a little pump spray. And what I do is I fill that bottle up with Nixol, and I use that as a deodorant. Absolutely works great. And sometimes if the animals get hurt, I can just go up and mist them, in the wound area with this spray bottle. And it works great. I've sprayed the doormat in the back, and we have chickens, and they're free range chickens, and they really like looking in the back door. We have a full glass back door, and they like looking in there and see what's happening on the other side of the glass. And they hang out right on the doormat and the back step, right outside the kitchen, and they poop on we haven't been able to train them not to do it, so they poop right on the mat, and it brings flies in the summertime. And you open the door in the kitchen, and the flies come racing in. So I spray the mat with Nixol, and it stops the flies. So it's kind of neat.
There are many stuff, Dad.
It works great. So and we spray the dogs, and if they get hurt, and the cats, and so if you're interested, we'll tell you more about it at the expo. And according to Milo Carter, USA Preparedness Instructor, he says what it does to these to the bacteria and these pathogens, these biopathogens, it just causes them to explode, and they literally explode, and they cease to exist. And that's kind of how it works. So if you think about the things that you would use chlorine for, as a biocide, this does a lot of things that chlorine does, probably, and more, and doesn't smell like chlorine smells. and it's not toxic like chlorine is. So that's what Nixall, Nixall, is. Dr. Shealy, bruises. Now, when someone gets bruised, and we get banged up here on the farm, and like a cow will bang into us, and, they don't intentionally attack us, but it happens, and they bump into us, or we hurt ourselves with equipment, and we end up with bruises. And, the skin turns, purple, a little bit purple. Let's say a quarter-sized, bruise, or maybe larger, maybe smaller. Is there something that we can do to increase the speed at which those bruises heal? And the
one thing which I actually studied back in the 60s is DMSO. It does markedly speed up resorption of bruises. Now you can buy a wonderful veterinary DMSO gel at your animal supply place. Now the only problem with DMSO, if you put it on too much over several days, it can cause the skin to peel a little bit, almost like a sunburn. But it is very effective. Of course, the other thing that will work, it's not nearly as fast and it's messier to use, is castor oil on the skin.
Okay. I believe that it was DMSO that one of our instructors was telling me can be used for the removal of a tattoo. Now, it's not instantaneous, but some of us, not me, but and not you.
No, I have to say I find it repulsive.
Yeah, but some of us have, been temporarily removed from our faculties, and we've gotten tattoos, and and we may want to get rid of them and say, that wasn't the smartest thing I've ever done. And so let's look into DMSO and see if that will help remove. But it takes about a year or maybe. Class who wants to pay less taxes and enjoy the same tax deductions that the rich take. At the Get Prepared Expo, I'll show you how. This is something I learned 40 years ago, and I'm delighted to teach you. What if you lose your job or your company shuts down? The plan is for you to be financially independent by starting your own business. Any business, whatever you like to do. I haven't had a job since the 1980s. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. That's how long it takes to die. At the Get Prepared Expo, we'll have pallets of Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems at the lowest prices in the country. Berkey and ProPure water filtration systems, and we'll have the lowest prices in the country on top of the line Mountain House freeze-dried food with a 35-year shelf life. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th at the Get Prepared Expo. Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. The financial collapse of the United States is a mathematical certainty. There's no doubt about it. U.S. Air Force Captain and author John Regan will explain why this will happen and what you need to do about it right now. We're not trying to scare you, but the collapse is coming. This and 150 seminars and exhibits are included in your pass. $8 online and $10 a day at the door. Saturday and Sunday, March 28 and 29 at the Get Prepared Expo, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. GetPreparedExpo.com. Ladies, for $450, you can buy a brand new AR-15 rifle kit at the Get Prepared Expo. Because this AR-15 is a kit, there's no paperwork and no registrations required. It's totally private and all 100% legal. AR-15 kits and seminars on how to assemble them. 150 seminars and exhibits, $8 online, $10 at the door. AR-15 kits, $450 at the GetPreparedExpo.com. Saturday and Sunday, March 28th and 29th, Cowan Civic Center, Lebanon, Missouri. How many...
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins. But did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your product and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Class, I can tell you, I just checked the emails. Thank you for continuing to purchase your Get Prepared Expo tickets online. $8 online, $10 a day at the door. That's this weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday's a special all-day seminar with Rick Miller. Friday's the setup day. First banquet meal starts on Friday night at 6 o'clock. Main expo starts Saturday and continues through Sunday. We have 3 banquet meals Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday for lunch. Please consider getting your banquet meal tickets immediately. We may have a few left at the door. I don't know, but we have to order the food in advance, so it would be really helpful. If you don't want to be disappointed, make sure you get your tickets. And we've got Tom from Maryland, and you've got a question for Dr. Norman Shealy. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome.
It was bizarrely coincidental that you mentioned DMSO, and a perfect segue. I just happened to be writing the letter D in DMSO when you brought it up. I used to use it many years ago as a vehicle for transporting crushed aspirin to a pain site, such as a sore joint. It's an excellent vehicle, and actually, you've got to be really careful, as I'm sure you know. It really does work as God's perfect vehicle in terms of transporting really any medication that it's mixed with straight through the skin and into the bloodstream. You can actually taste it in your mouth almost instantaneously. But my question had to do with terminally ill patients or those dealing with orphan diseases who want to take advantage of the FDA ruling as far as importing experimental and last resort medications. It's gotten harder in recent years because of the knuckleheads who abuse medications, but I wanted to find out from you what, in your opinion, was the best source, country, if you will, site, maybe a pharmacy that deals from overseas as far as importing these FDA experimental drugs for people in situations such as mine. What kind of information could you give me on that? Or if you prefer, maybe you'd want to give me that information off of the air and not broadcast it.
No, to be quite honest, I've never imported any experimental drugs. I don't like drugs that have already been on the market most of the time, so I'm not very open to trying experimental drugs from anywhere. Right. The country I would trust most is Canada. Mm-hmm. Their pharmacies, I think, are good. Country I would trust least is China, just on general principle.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about experimental drugs either. In fact, like I said, with so much abuse from people who really don't need drugs, for legitimate medical reasons, it's become even hard to get, medications that are legitimate on the market from local physicians. They're more concerned about their liability than their patient care, and it really makes it difficult for those of us struggling with illness and disease.
Right. Now, for that, I would definitely trust Canada at the top of my list.
Right. I just saw a special on, I think it was National Geographic, where they showed how a lot of these scammers are actually counterfeiting drugs and how real they look, that even the drug manufacturers themselves have to hire special chemists, not only to look at the labeling, but to run the drugs through their systems to see exactly what's in them. That they do such a good job at doing these knockoff drugs. It's like
exactly
where to look anymore.
I would be very careful of going anywhere other than Canada, personally. Okay, if you could get them for Switzerland, I don't know whether that's available. That would be my second choice.
Switzerland. Okay, sir. Well, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Tom, thank you for calling in. Dr. Shealy, well, Expo, we'll see you on Friday night at the banquet meal. I'm looking forward to seeing my dear friend, Dr. Norman Shealy. Class, you can join us at the Get Prepared Expo. Go to getpreparedexpo.com. That's this weekend. This weekend. Above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. Thank you so much, Dr. Shealy.
The freeze-dry guy, leader in the preparedness industry for 44 years, is closing his California warehouse. Don't miss out on this huge warehouse sale and receive discounts from 30 to 40% off on the finest Mountain House and Packaway brand freeze-dried and dehydrated foods for long-term food storage or even everyday use. Plus deep discounts on all in-stock survival gear. The freeze-dry guy is offering a wide selection of freeze-dried foods in number 10 cans and even individually packaged entrees. Remember, meats, vegetables, fruits, and long-range patrol rations are the main components for any long-term food storage. This is limited to stock on hand, so hurry and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, as always, free shipping to the lower 48 states. So hurry up and call 866-404-3663 or 530-798-4414. Remember, this is limited to stock on hand. The freeze-dry guy is your choice for survival food in an uncertain world.
The Genesis Communications Network is one of America's premier broadcasters of captivating talk radio. We thank you for listening. Now, just imagine, there are thousands of people who are just as passionate about radio as you are. But what you may not realize is how easy and affordable it is to advertise with us. Radio commercials for your business could be heard on hundreds of radio stations across the U.S. every day. We can help you by creating an effective radio advertising campaign for your company. From script writing to producing your commercial, just like the one you're listening to right now. No other network provides the level of customer service we do. When it comes to radio advertising, we are your one-stop shop. And no matter how big or small your business is, we can help. Email us at advertise@gcnlive.com, and an experienced advertising executive will help you take the first step towards driving more customers to your business or website. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.